Welcome everyone to the Pantheon. I'm Ray,
And I'm Evie.
and what are we looking at today?
Runaways,
Season three.
season
So
three.
this one is really. This is the third and final season. So Evie, give
Yeah.
us the rundown, and I'll do a breakaway after that.
Okay. Runaways is after what happened with season two.
Mhm.
There was a big battle. Some people died, um, and some people had consequences, like with their families or being friends or not being friends. You know, made me think like what's gonna happen. It was really good. Kind of put me on, made me think about stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I won't say more than that. What are your thoughts, Ray?
Well, you're right. Season two was a had a. I mean, each season has a really good cliffhanger. Like season one's cliffhanger, they're on the run, and then the first six episodes of season two resolves gives a closure to season one, and then the final six episodes goes on a whole new story. You know,
Right,
uh,
yeah.
with the return of season three. Oh, with season two, sorry, the finale is as you mentioned, some people will die, and the team
Mm,
splits up. The team is actually
yeah,
scattered. So the first two episodes of season three concludes, basically sums up or gives resolution to season two. You know, with the team reuniting and being refocused. And then the next two episodes really concludes the whole story arc with the aliens, with the baby, with the shapeshifter, and that whole story. So within the first four episodes, uh, the entire what took place from day one with Jonah and the whole alien race thing and the whole alien invasion stuff gets concluded, and then from episode five, we go into a different new arc, and then as we were alluding to quite earlier on in our beginning of our podcast, we knew about there will be a crossover with Cloak and Dagger. It was like a two-part episode, and it
yeah.
was interesting. I mean, like, did you like that? Did you like the crossover?
Yeah, it was interesting. Who thought? Well, I was thinking that it would happen, and it did. It was really amazing. Really well done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Right, and then right up until the second last episode, it follows a different type of story arc, and then now we're dealing with the darkness because seasons two and three, mostly season three, dealt with Nico's inner darkness, right, in the dark
Yeah,
dimension. So we get a resolution of that storyline. We get to follow that entire story arc of Nico's involvement, which kind of coincides with why we get Tandy and Tyrone Cloak and Dagger, because we go into the dark dimension, or the lore, as they refer to it as. Um, so there was a lot of good stuff here. So like when it comes to the magic aspect of it, what were your what were the things that stood out for you? What was exciting for you, and what surprised you?
the magic surprised me actually. Who thought they would they would go into magic? Well, I guess, magic was a big part of most of it, right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts?
Well, I was just saying because I don't know if you want. I thought you want to go into who the villain was, because it's a Marvel character. Marvel
Mhm.
actually has the rights to it. So I was just surprised that they utilized that. But the one of the big takeaway for me was that we're introduced to the Darkhold, something that was been mentioned in Scarlet WandaVision, something that's
Yeah,
shown in the Agents of Shield seasons two, and also a little bit into Agent Carter. I know for those who watch WandaVision, which you and I will be talking about coming up now in the start of the new year, season one dealt with the Darkhold, and unfortunately there is a retcon of how Cloak and Dagger's interpretation of the Darkhold is and what WandaVision has for their book. And also it kind of retcons Agents of Shield too. How we review how we look at the Darkhold, in that case. And for those who, I'm sure you Google what I'm about to say, but the Darkhold is like the Book of the Dead, dark magic, dark principles, like a
hmm
Necrocopicon. But this one takes place. where you can open up a door to dark dimension, where Nico's been putting people into. Though they wrap it up, it's undefined of like what actually happens to the aliens. It's undefined of what actually happens to the shapeshifter and her betrothed.
Hmm.
They just leave it there, up to you. Though they give them a send off in its own kind of way, but it's not a complete, like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
It's just very convenient for them to uh, shelf these characters and find a way to pocket these characters and then move
Yeah.
on into the next phase of the series, because they only have like 4 more episodes to go. And then the final episode is a kind of a time loop, kind of a time variant, like Back to the Future type scenario. So
Hmm.
it kind of goes back. It kind of feels like Endgame. It's the end game of the series. You know,
Hmm.
they go back to, they revisit certain parts of the series in itself. You know, like Endgame did. It revisited almost all the episodes of the MCU in some regard to give it relevance, even Thor:
Hmm.
Dark World. So I thought that was interesting how they did that, and also it takes place in the year 2022.
Wow. Yeah.
If you're watching it now, it kind of feels really cool because we've all gone through the whole experience of the COVID crisis and the pandemic and all that stuff, and these kids have gone through all that, and it's still present, which is kind of funny. So thought that
Yeah.
was really interesting. But how were your feelings towards the parents? Are you more forgiving of their past sins? Are they more sympathetic for you now because of the sacrifices, what they do now in this stage of the game?
Yeah, I kind of do forgive them. I think because it was, survival was
Hmm.
the main thing, uh, you know, like all they have is each other and they have to survive, right? So although like sometimes they were mean to each other, it was all about self-preservation.
Okay, all right, that's a good way of looking at it. Well, that's cool. Well, yeah, I saw it as, yeah, redemption. It's a long road for redemption, and you're right. Self-preservation. That's one of the things you could look at it too. So,
Yeah.
and I like the Ghost of the Machine type storyline. So that's kind of really
Mhm.
cool how they go from there. That it didn't bother me as much because it's current. You have a love affair with same-sex individuals. You have like relationships,
Mhm.
breakups, teen angst, and teen love. Where they break up and go again.
Mhm.
You have a Wiccan coven in this one, where you
Mhm.
have, it looks like when Nico wakes up, she's surrounded by women, like a harem of women.
Mhm.
They really, without saying too much, they do imply certain aspects of it. In terms of social messages, does that bother you? Are you more receptive to shows like Cloak and Dagger, where they tackle like real hard issues? It's woven into the fabric of the storytelling. Sometimes it's kind of like a punch to your face. Sometimes it's a little subtle. Are
Mhm.
these things are these the kind of things that like you look forward to seeing, like you like to be engaged in, or like
Mhm.
where are you at in terms of seeing this sort of content? Not necessarily sexual, just in terms of like just like social commentaries or just
Mhm.
messages that they want to get through.
Okay. Things happen, right?
Mhm.
So it's very much about life,
Mhm.
you know, and it's, yeah, it's things can happen. People die, people live, babies are born.
Mhm.
Yeah, things happen. Yeah, I think it was very, it's like life, things happen, very real. What do you think about, about, um, about all of the romance and stuff like that?
Mhm.
What do you think about the?
Here's the funny thing about this show. You The way the show like progresses the characters and develops the characters, you actually care for each and every character,
Mm.
whether it's Gertz and her idiosyncrasies, whether it's Molly, whether it's Nico and like all these. Even though Nico's a little on the dark side, you have like the Cloak and Dagger and like a darkness and a
Yeah.
light. And yes, you have it's a lesbian
Mhm.
connection. You have Gertz and Chase relationship, which is not even on, it's off. It's pretty cold, but there's still a connection, a caring, and it's a sense of family. So it's the idea of family and still sticking together, even if those push each other away, which is like reality based. And
Yeah, okay.
I like that. I like the idea that the relationships are grounded and it's never easy like life, and it's murky, it's unclear. People hurt each other, but not intentionally. And it's sort of it is a reflection of life, a slice of life, and I
Mm.
kind of commend them in doing that and still weave that into a narrative or a story that's sci-fi. That's sort of like I won't say a
Mm.
superhero film, a series, but like it is a sci-fi action imaginary. Like these situations are just not normal, but like they still keep it grounded in the terms of relationships, and I really do like the intimacies and the nuances that they have. So yeah, I really did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, and on that note, we'll say thank you. We'll be back next week. And to reach us, our website is www.pantheonofm.com. And you can catch us on YouTube, our links to our podcast, our links to my weekly blog. I'll do a little bit of review and discussing season 3 of Runaways. And Evie?
I'm Evie.
Okay. And we'll talk to you next week. Take care.